What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Palm City Chucks. We got an NBA one for you. Right now, going on in the NBA, we got the NBA Cup happening. We're already at the quarterfinals, excuse me, and we already have the results of 3 out of the 4 games. We have Mavs Thunder, which the Thunder took that one, 118-104. We have the Bucks Magic, where the Bucks took that, 114-109. Hawks Knicks, where the Hawks took that, 108-100. And then we have the Warriors Rockets actually going down right now. But yeah, so it's set for the East. It's going to be Bucks Hawks, Thunder. We don't know who they're playing yet, but it's going to be the Warriors or the Rockets. Are you surprised by these teams making it this far in the NBA Cup?
I am surprised by these teams making it this far in the NBA Cup, especially the teams on the East side of things.
Right.
Honestly, the West is kind of chalk.
Yeah.
It's 4 out of the top 5 teams as the standings sit currently.
Right.
The exception being the Grizzlies, and then in the East you just got, the Bucks and Hawks. They're not up towards the top. You got
Right.
Magic are in third, sure. Knicks are up there, but neither of the top 2 teams are there. No Cavs, no Celtics. You got to go quite a ways to. Bucks have moved themselves up to 6, but
Yeah.
come on. What do we got going on here? And that brings me to my question, because I just have a hard time talking about this in-season tournament right now, rebranded as the NBA Cup.
Yes.
Do these teams care at all when they're playing these games? Is there any extra incentive? Sure, they come out and say they do, and they're giving some monetary incentives, but when you're looking at
Right.
the state of contracts in the NBA today and how much money these guys are getting paid, do they care about this in-season tournament at all? Really. It's extra games.
Yeah.
So when you're already in a time in the NBA where rest is a big thing and load management, and you're adding games for an extra NBA Cup. I keep wanting calling it the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
Extra games for the NBA Cup. Do they really care? I kind of liken it to, say, if there's any soccer fans out there, like the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup for the Premier League. Like, nobody really cares about those. It's all about the league title and the Champions League. And the NBA Cup feels a lot of the same way to me. The teams aren't playing any harder, if you ask
Right.
me. They're
Yeah.
really not.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't really see any extra effort like you do when the actual playoffs roll around. Like, hey, there's some defense going on here. You're not seeing that in the NBA Cup, and yeah, to your point too. Like, we're seeing stars set them out. Like,
Yep.
they're not feeling the need to play these games. Like you said, they're worried about their rest. They're worried about load management for the playoffs, the games that actually matter.
Yep.
And yeah, this was a fear of mine right from the start when it started last year. I didn't see the appeal there. It's just I don't get it. I don't know what they're trying to do. It's just a bogus award in my opinion. Now, and it could be a good thing if you did have that extra effort, if you did have stars playing through injury and all that stuff. But we're not getting that. And like you said, it's probably because they can't incentivize these players enough. I mean, you got
Yeah.
to throw bags at these guys for them to, give their all this early in the season.
Yeah, I gotta ask, like, how do you think we get there? Do you think we ever get there? Because,
No.
like you said, if you compare it to if you compare it to playoffs, in playoffs, these teams are playing 5, 6 man rotation sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think you get there because the playoffs are that much more important.
yep.
I truly don't think you get there. I mean, we've seen stars like not do the Olympics and like all like other major things just to stay healthy. So you think they're gonna do something in season and risk injury and all that going the extra mile effort wise? Like, I don't think we're gonna see that. And like I said, the only way you could maybe fix it is just throw an absurd bag at these guys. Like, it seriously just has to be nuts. And that's the other thing too. Like, a lot of these guys, they care about the stats and the accolades to get them into the Hall of Fame potentially and stuff like that. is this going to be one of those stats? Like, because I surely don't think so. Like, I don't think when you look at a guy's resume, you're going to look for the NBA Cup championship. Like, come on.
The true Mickey Mouse trophy.
Right.
Here,
I'm glad
the
you
NBA
said that
Cup.
because I
Yeah.
literally was thinking that. I was gonna literally say that. It reminds me of that. Now
Yes.
they had no control over that situation. It was what it was, and you got to give the Lakers some credit for pulling it off. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why
at
I
the
said
same
the
time, it
true Mickey
reminds me of
Mouse
that.
Cup.
Yeah. Yep.
While I personally do think there is a bit of an asterisk by that one, the reality is, as you said, all the teams are playing in the same conditions. So while it's not normal NBA conditions, they were on a level playing field, but it definitely gave some teams a different advantage
Right.
than they would have had
Yeah,
playing in
'cause
normal
they were-
conditions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were an older team, less games, fresher bodies, whatever, however you want to put it. But yeah, it definitely gave them an advantage. But yes, to your point, every team was going through that. It still counts. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
this horse crap, I don't know.
No,
I
I,
don't know.
I honestly, I just want to see it go away.
Yeah, I do too.
It feels forced to this point. Like we know, everybody listening knows, you and I, big sports guys.
Yeah.
If there's a tournament going on in one of the major sports, you best believe most of the time I'm doing what I need to do with my schedule to be able to sit down and watch this.
Right, lock it
I
in.
will tell you right now, I don't make extra time to watch the NBA Cup games.
Me either.
I mean, we are filming right now
Yes,
during
during
one of
one.
them. So I think that just goes to show
Yeah.
that even the fans, the ones that love the sport, do not care.
Yeah.
So
well
if that's
put.
what they're going for, that's not
Yeah.
even working.
Yeah. I mean,
So
hell,
just-
even a little self roast here. The Sixers won 2 of them. They went 2-2 in the cup games.
No, it's the perfect
Like-
tournament for crappy and middle of the standings teams.
Right.
Because this is their opportunity to win something.
Yeah.
It's like their copium prize.
Right.
Oh, we won something, but these top teams, they want to go get the Larry O'Brien at the end of the year. That's what they care about, you know?
Yeah.
So-
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're
Let's-
seeing
let's-
that. That's why we had those teams out of the East and all. Like, it's middle of the pack,
Exactly.
whatever. Like, we can't win the whole thing. Let's try and win this, I guess.
Yep.
But-
Exactly. But that's enough of that. NBA Cup sucks. NBA, please get rid of it. But
Mhm.
it is what it is. It's reality right now. Something I want to talk to you about. Current MVP race a little bit.
Ooh,
Nikola Jokic.
yeah. I
This
mean,
guy is absolutely unbelievable. He's
Yeah.
unbelievable. This guy's got 3 MVPs already. We've talked about him in our previous episode about possibly being up there with the all-time greats, truly.
Yeah.
And he is setting new career bests and averages. And this is a guy, as I just said, 3 MVP seasons. And definitely a few more that were MVP quality, just beaten out by others.
Mm-hmm.
And he's putting up new career bests
Yeah,
and
like
highs?
across
Are
the
you-
board, too. Like, it's
Yeah,
gross.
it makes no sense.
How
right
did we
now,
not see this man peak? Like, how has he not peaked yet?
I don't understand. I really don't. I personally think there shouldn't even be a conversation right now about anybody else as a
Yeah.
genuine
Yeah,
MVP
and
candidate.
it's early yet, but
Yeah, it
you're
is.
100% correct. Like, right now, if the season ended,
Yeah,
I mean, how could you? And this is with the Nuggets sitting at the 7th seed right now.
yeah,
Like, we don't see an MVP that far down often. But,
Mm-hmm.
and also, it is in the West, and, he's what? 2 games back from the 5. Like, it gets, it's real tight in the West. So, yeah, I mean, a lot can change, but yeah, if it was to end right now, I mean, it has to be him.
Oh yeah, I know there is a lot of time left. Don't get me wrong, but we're a little over quarter of the way through the year, and this just felt like mostly had to bring it up because Nikola Jokic is just an insane man, and he deserved another call out. Like
Yeah.
I'm getting more confident in my statement on our previous episode that this guy could go down as all-time
Yeah.
great. Like, I'm talking top 3 all-time in the conversations with Jordan and LeBron.
Yeah, it's
Seriously.
wild. I mean, it took
mean,
me
he's-
back when you said it a few episodes ago, and even still, like, it's so shocking to hear. But Yeah, I mean, it's tough to argue against. If he does this 3, 4 more years, even, like he's already
Hmm.
done. If he does it that 3, 4 more years, he's done it for what 8 to 10 years, just being like
Yep.
ridiculously good. I mean, you're already. That's all he really needs to do. So I
Hmm.
mean, as long as he stays healthy, I don't see why he wouldn't be in that conversation a few years from now.
Yeah. No, totally agree. Just needed to get that out there. It's early, but right now I'd vote for this man 100 times out of 10. So
Yeah.
let's go to another fun subject here. I got another one for you. The Sixers.
Oh, is it a fun
Yeah,
one?
it is a fun
Are
one.
you sure? For you or
Yeah.
me?
Um, honestly, maybe a little bit of both. I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be quite as mean as you want here.
Oh, I
Or
don't want mean.
fear. Let me correct myself. Fear. Um, Sixers right now sitting at 7-15. Not good, but I mean better winning percentage than when we filmed last
Yes.
time. So
Yeah,
you know
juices
a bit of an
are flowing a
improvement.
bit. They're 5-5 over their last 10 people. Come
Five and
on.
five.
Come
Woo.
on.
In the East, that just might be enough the rest of the way
Yeah.
to sneak in, but
Yeah. We got our
still
first
good.
win with Embiid. Holy crap, dude. Cooking.
Yeah, you're going
Which
off.
that's
But the
just
point,
crazy to even say. I mean, a guy who's so important to that team and he was like 0-6, I think, before he got his first win.
hmm
Just insane.
I am so happy you just said those words right there. Embiid, so important to this team because I'm beginning to ask myself lately, what do you do with Embiid? With where the Sixers are at right now, how his career's gone, his
Yeah.
age, playing time
His health, man.
limitations.
It's
Like,
scary.
what do you do with Embiid? Do you consider selling Embiid? Is there a world where that happens?
Sure. I think so. Everybody's got a
Yeah?
price, and yeah, I mean, I
Is his
definitely
price
would.
that high right now?
That I wonder. I truly
Yeah.
do. And he's probably worth keeping if, the offers are whatever. Like, you have to try and get not necessarily MVP caliber return, but you need to get like all pro level return, or I wouldn't do it. But that being said, maybe they should for less, because I'm beginning to wonder if he's ever going to be the same. Like he's a big
Yeah.
dude
That's
with
what I'm asking
with
myself.
major leg injury. Like and clearly he can't stay on the court more than a few games,
Hmm.
and it goes down again. So yeah, it's concerning. I wonder how do you value him at this point, and how do the Sixers value him? And yeah, because I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if people call. Like, I mean, we've seen what he's able to do, and yeah, but I can't imagine they're gonna give enough where the Sixers will actually bite. Because I imagine we will have him valued higher than other teams, but I don't
Okay.
know. That's just my
I'm
thoughts on it. But
I'm
yeah,
I'm
I would be
curious.
open to it for the right price, but I don't know
Throw
what the
me
right
out.
price is.
So all pros pretty limited. Throw me out a player's name that you would take in a 1-for-1 deal for Embiid right now.
Ooh,
I'm curious how you value him right now.
yeah, I'm not even sure, dude. Um, I don't know. I would definitely sacrifice
Let's
equal talent for a younger dude with potential. Like I
Okay,
would
let's
rather, I
say
would
Devin
almost,
Booker. 1-for-1.
that would actually kind of work with the team too. Especially if they want to keep running McCain off the bench. Ah, that is so tough, dude.
I know.
This is tough to do on the spot. Dude, that is tempting, honestly.
Yeah.
That really is. Yeah, I would probably do it, honestly. I mean, you're getting much younger, you're getting much healthier, and you're getting a stud. So, yeah, I think that's fair, honestly, at this point in his career. And just because I honestly am starting to truly believe he won't be able to stay healthy ever. like for
No,
a
I agree
substantial
with
amount
that.
of
There's
time. So yeah,
He's
I
never
mean,
playing a full season. That's 100%
yeah,
sure.
without a
No
doubt,
doubt about
without a
that.
doubt. But I'm saying,
I'm
can
not
this guy
sure.
play 15 games without anything happening?
That's why. Does he ever eclipse 60 again? Ever? Just 60.
Yeah,
75%.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't either. Like I think his cap might be 40 to 50, 50 to
I'll
like
take
60,
it.
65% of the games.
I'll take it,
Yeah.
dude. And if it happens at the right time, maybe they could make some noise. But yeah, yeah, I'm not banking on anything over 50 with him at this point. He's barely done that when he was younger, and not as many injuries. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I think it's really sad, really.
It's
tough
definitely
out
sad
here.
from a true NBA fan perspective. As a Celtics fan and a Sixers hater, I do like to see that. But
No, you
if I
don't
took
wish
the
injury.
bias, if I took I didn't wish injury. A downfall of a player's career, like that's what
But
I
it's
like
due
to see.
to injury.
Is it due to injury? I feel like
Yes.
it's really just more the body. It's just his body's not made for this, rather than injury.
Okay.
Like if I'm thinking injury, I'm thinking, the foot thing he had his very first year, or torn ACL, or his hammy, torn, something like that.
Yeah.
This is just his body is
Yeah,
too
it's-
sore.
Right. It's almost like he's just 5 years older than he is, basically.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I respect that. But yeah, I just want him to be healthy, man. It's just brutal. I mean, we finally
It is.
his first win was with the big three, and I would say there was somewhat of a minute restriction, but it was just nice to see. Like, we haven't seen it yet, and I mean, we're 22 games in, and it was the last one we had where it happened. So yeah, it's really rough. Like, I just really question if he can string them together, and that's what the team needs to do to build chemistry so they can work off of each other. And yeah, I just don't know if it's going to happen at this point. And like we said, it is still early yet, like a little over a quarter of the way into the season. Like, maybe all of these breaks will pay off and we'll be able to play. But yeah, until I see it, it's tough to believe at this point.
Okay, fair. I also just want to say, if I was the Suns, I would not do Booker for Embiid straight up.
Oh, no.
I don't think Embiid gives you enough anymore to get rid of Booker there.
No,
but
and you can't do that with KD, who's also, I mean, not as bad as Embiid, but clearly
No.
he has his own issues. And
yeah,
can't
his
stay
legs are
healthy,
starting to go.
Yeah.
Calf's pretty consistent problem for him. Past
Sad,
couple
bro.
years, so.
All the
It
OGs
is.
we grew up watching are
I
just,
know.
they're slowly, it's happening, dude, right before
No, the
our
next
eyes.
the next 2 to 3 years, our idols growing up will be gone, and it will be a totally can't say new NBA because the guys were coming into the league as we
Right.
were growing up, but
Yeah,
it's not the NBA we started with anymore.
Right.
That's for sure.
yeah.
It'll be sad to see. Sad to see.
It is, dude. Hell, even when Melo went out, Wade, like, it's just like, oh my god.
Chris
It's
Bosh.
yeah, and it's wild. And these are literally every team we named are rivals of the Celtics and Sixers, and we're still like, damn, if I could just
Yeah.
watch one more prime game. But yeah, it's sad. But it's the way of the NBA. It's the way of all sports. It just
Yes, sir.
it really hurts in the NBA because these guys play for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as long as I've watched, these guys were in the league. So
Yep.
it's hitting extra hard. It's not like the NFL where average careers like 3 years or whatever, and the greats are done in 7 to 8. It's a complete different breed. So yeah, it definitely hits a little harder. And yeah, it's happening. Like you said, the next 2-3 years, we're gonna lose some more.
100%. 100%. What do you got, man? What are you trying to talk about?
Yeah,
I know you got
so-
something.
Yeah, I got some talking points. How about the trade rumor of Jimmy Butler?
Oh,
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler.
He's rumored to
It
go
feels
to
weird.
the Warriors, Mavs, Rockets, Suns, So out of those four teams, who do you think is most likely to do it, and where do you think he would fit in best? Which I know that's a tough question because I mean it's Jimmy. I feel like he fits
Yeah,
in almost anywhere, and
except for in Philly.
especially yeah. Well, he fit in. We just picked
Yeah,
Tobias Harris.
I know.
Doi. Um, but yeah, he's a great player, and we know what he does come playoff time. Like he would make any one of those teams immediate contenders and maybe even favorites. But yeah, where do you think he fits best, and where do you think he goes?
Fits best. I think I gotta go with the Rockets here
I
in
agree.
terms of fit. Um, Suns too much there in the 2 through 4. Mavs, Kyrie and Luca demand too much of the ball. Warriors kind of a similar situation with Steph, and they're just really in flux right now in terms of rotations and everything. So I'm not quite sure how Jimmy fits in there.
Yeah.
They're definitely trying to get younger, I think, and play their younger guys a bit more. So I got to go with Rockets on the best fit.
Hmm.
Now, who's most likely to do it? Suns know. I think they're learning their lesson from recent trades, and they
Yes.
won't pull the trigger on that again. Rockets, maybe. I think that depends. I need a little more time to say they'd be the most likely to do it. If they keep up their current, level of play, then maybe they do. But they are still really young and likely in a Jimmy Butler trade to the Rockets. You're probably giving up some of the young guys on your team,
Yeah.
which are a decent part of the core that you've been trying to build and work on pretty successfully, if you ask me. If you've
Right.
seen their growth over the past few years, do you really want to mess with that? But at the same time,
It's a
as you
good
just
point.
said, it's playoff Himmy. Like, he is that guy in
Yeah.
the playoffs. So if you're going to go to the playoffs with a very inexperienced team, adding Jimmy Butler to that team might not be such a bad idea.
Right.
Maybe they find a way to make it work with heavy picks and not have to give up too much of the young guys, just since they've already got so many young dudes, maybe they don't value this as high. But I think I got to go with the Mavs as the most likely. I'd
Yeah.
go with the Mavs as the most likely because they were close last year. They made the NBA Finals and
Yeah.
probably feel like they are a piece away. Or that's the mindset they should have, anyways. That's how you should be thinking about it.
Right.
Um,
And they didn't learn the lesson yet because this is year one
no,
with Clay.
yes,
Like
exactly.
maybe if this happens next year, they would think different about it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
I like that take. I personally think the Rockets is the best fit. I agree with you there.
yep.
And and you're right, they would lose probably at least one young guy. They're probably going to lose two and picks.
Yeah.
Um, but hypothetically, they keep a lot of that young core. You get a great leader in Jimmy, and come playoff time, I mean that's what a young team needs a lot of times.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that would be a great fit. And who's likely to do it? I think maybe the Rockets too. I think maybe they realize that too. Hey, this young squad needs leadership. But to your point, they have a decision to make. Do they want to
Yeah.
mess up the young group core,
Yep.
or do they value a chance at one chip enough to sacrifice that? And that's what
Yep.
they have to figure out. And I would say for a lot of teams, one chip is worth it, man. I
Oh,
mean, we see it in
absolutely.
other sports like all the time too. Like you go all in for that chip, and the next 5, 10 years they don't even matter. You got it.
Yep. 100%. 100%. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that plays out. I'm kind of curious, why do the Heat even want to do that right now? What rough start to the year, turning around, they're getting better, 12 and
Right.
10 right now. Like things are looking up. Why do you want to move on from Jimmy right now?
Yeah, I mean
What do you expect to
he's
happen?
their whole identity. Like
Yeah.
I found it very surprising too. And like you said, they've turned it around. They're sitting 12 and 10,
Mm-hmm.
5 seed right now in the East, totally in the mix. I mean, they could get as high as a 3 seed. I mean, like that's not shabby, and they have a pretty good group around them too. Like so, yeah,
Yeah.
it's very surprising. I just think maybe it's his age, and they're thinking, hey, like if we want to get rid of him for crazy good value, like now's the time to do it.
Isn't the off
They
season the right time to take that approach though?
Well, I
If
think
you're
he's
gonna
a
do
free agent because they didn't, or they have a player option, I think. But I know they talked last summer about an extension and they couldn't find an agreement. So maybe Jimmy's asking for too much, and maybe that's the pressure to move him, get something for him right now. But I'm not sure.
that's totally fair. It is, but I'd love to know what Pat Riley is thinking there,
Yeah.
and Spolstra,
I mean, it's a
because
crazy
like I said, they're
thing.
doing well. They are
Yeah.
doing well.
They're
So
doing well, and he's their team. Like we were just talking about Embiid. Like it's crazy to think about a guy that literally is your team just being out of the picture.
I totally agree. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I don't understand. But yeah, let's move on to something else because there's just so much going on. Let's talk about one of those teams, the Warriors. I kind of alluded to this a bit. What is going on with them? They've definitely taken a step back since the start of the year.
Yeah.
The rotations are changing quite a bit. We're seeing Draymond go to the bench. We're
Right.
seeing Steph leaving the game up by 15 midway through the third. Steve Kerr waiting till it's too late in the fourth to put him back in. What is going on there?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's again age. Like we're seeing all of these greats, all the stars, all the faces of the NBA, and they're getting older. And we all know we all know Steph's play style. I mean, the guy is literally running a marathon every night. He never stops moving, and yeah, maybe that's taking a toll on him. We know his history with ankles and all that. Like maybe that's bugging him too. I don't know. And for Draymond, I think that was honestly a matter of time. I mean, we saw them; they pretty much phased Clay out. Like we didn't want you, we don't
Yep.
want you anymore. And it was a matter of time till that happened to Draymond too. And Draymond can go out there and say, like he supports it and he wants to help Kuminga uh, fit better in the starting lineup, but I only believe that's about half true. I really feel like it was the Warriors pushing him to the bench. Like we need more firepower in our starting lineup, and Wiggins never really that great of an offensive piece, and I think they needed something else to go along with Steph.
No, yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm curious to see how the rest of the season goes for them because I think how they're playing now is more what I expected. I was pretty surprised by how hot they started
Yeah, that's
this
fair.
year, and I think how they're playing now, which isn't terrible. It's not.
Yeah.
It's still
Well,
still
for
good, and
reference-
a tough West as well.
You're right, and it's 4-6 in their last 10. Like not
Yeah.
absolutely terrible, but not what they were doing either.
Yes, yeah. I'm 4-6, a little harsh for the rest of the year. I think flip that 6-4, 60% of the games. That's probably
Yeah.
more about what I'm thinking, but certainly not as hot as they were. And I'm curious to see how Steph feels if Steve Kerr continues to keep him on the bench and the Warriors continue to lose those types of games. Where if he is on the court, they are probably going to win that game.
Yeah, yeah. That I feel like that's not gonna fly even one more time. Like how many times does that have to happen till Steph is calling the shots there? I mean, we know
100%.
the power these players have, even when they are paired with one of the best coaches in the league. I mean, their say goes a long way, and yeah, you don't do that to Steph. I mean, the guy's a legend. I hate to say it, I really do, but the guy's a legend.
I am clipping that. That is for sure. I'm going to send you that in
No.
birthday cards, Christmas cards of the future. It's just an electronic token. Steph is a legend.
Drop token. Oh man. Yeah, that's
Just
enough Warriors. You want to move on? My skin's
let's-
starting to crawl.
Oh,
I got
what
a
do you
quick
got?
one. Morant saying he's not going to dunk anymore, and then he pulls out a double clutch reverse jam
Yeah.
like the very next game.
Yep.
I mean, what's up with
Wild.
that? Everyone
Wild.
knows like I don't know why he said it. That's like his, he is like arguably the most exciting player to watch because of his dunks. And
Yep.
that alone. I mean, he's not making crazy dimes or crazy steals and like all this and that. Like he is an electrifying dunker. That's his identity at this point.
Yep.
So, I mean, did anybody even believe him when he said it? I don't know. Probably not, but I just thought it was funny. He just comes out and then pulls off, a classic, how did he do this? Ja Morant dunk.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong here. Like, there is a point to the health and the dunking where maybe he should find a better balance. Don't
Yeah.
go for something as crazy in traffic.
Yep.
Sure, dial it back where you don't end up on your ass
Right.
because you just tried to dunk over 3 people.
Yeah. But you know
Okay.
how it is with these guys. Like it's literally
Yeah.
instinct. Like they
Yeah.
see the lane open up and they're literally picturing what's about to happen before it happens. And
Yeah.
they just have to do
Picture
it. Like
picture something else. Picture a pass.
yeah.
Instead
Picture in
of-
a finger roll.
Yeah. Well, like if there's 3 people under the rim, obviously somebody's open on the perimeter. So kick
Right.
it out, dude. You don't gotta go for. So like, sure.
Yeah. You're right.
I definitely did not believe he was ever going to fully stop. There is no way because honestly, sometimes a 2-handed jam, just to be sure, is the right decision. It's the right
Oh,
basketball
yes.
move if you're capable.
Yes.
So honestly, you can't cut it out fully because it truly is a good thing sometimes and the right thing to do. But you don't have to do all the crazy stuff and risk yourself getting hurt.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be the case.
Right. And it is something he needs to worry about. Like, I don't mind that he said it as far as health goes, and I'm sure that's why he said it. But, yeah, I mean, the guy's been injury prone his whole career. And, like I said, he's, like, one of the most electrifying players. Like, every time he's out, it's a shame. Like, we're missing good, fun basketball to watch. And, yeah, I hope he takes his health more seriously because I want to keep seeing him on the court. Like whether it's his 360 layups or dunks, I want him to do it. It's a lot of fun. It's my style of NBA. Like no half
He does
court
play
threes.
hard nosed. Yeah, you
Like,
just
get
like
in
that he
there.
can't shoot. You just like that he can't shoot.
That's not. I mean, the phrasing's a little off, but yeah, I like
Yeah.
that he is
He's
slasher.
forced to
I
play
love a
old
slasher
NBA.
style.
Yes.
Slasher style NBA is my shit, man. I love it. And it's paying off. He has missed some time, but this is a good segue to talk Grizzlies a little bit. 9-1 over their last 10. 17-8 total, sitting second place in the West. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome. And
They're cooking.
yeah, they are. And as we know, I'm a Grizzlies fan. And I love to see it. Did some digging on them. And I found a pretty amazing stat. And it's how deep this team is. And we know a deep team, especially in the regular season, can really help your seeding for playoffs. And
yes.
this deep team I speak of has 7 players over 10 points per game on their roster. That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and they
10 points per game.
yeah,
Man.
and I like that style of play too. Like you're sharing the ball. You don't have the guy who's scoring 30 to 35 a night, and it's just like if he's off, we're going to lose. Like there's none of
Oh,
that in Memphis. Anybody can do it really. I mean, you got Bane, you got Jaren Jackson, you got Morant. Any of those 3 can take over, lead their team in scoring, and then you have 4 other guys that can give you 10 to 15. So
Yep.
it's a nice recipe. I really like it, and yeah, I think it's going to pay off for them, and they'll finish off with a nice seed going in the playoffs.
Totally agree. And it's funny that you brought up 7 players with 10 or more points there because I specifically looked into Marcus Smart. He's my guy, right?
And he's
So,
close. He could be. He's
9.6. Yeah.
Right,
So they have
yeah.
almost 8 players with
there's
10
actually
points. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
That
and
is crazy.
There's another one too. It might be Scottie Pippen Jr. or maybe he was the last guy over 10, but there's another guy that's like 9 point something. And then
That's crazy.
like, and we're not even we're not even down to like Brandon Clark yet, who we know can score, and
Yep.
he's not even at 10. Like he's not even at 9. Like they have all these pieces, man, And
Yeah.
they can shoot the ball too. Like they kind of have a little bit of everything. They got the slasher and Morant. They got Jaren Jackson, pick and pop, little inside, little outside, can do it all. And they got all these pieces that are great at shooting the three. And I love what I've seen from Scottie Pippen Jr. so far too. I mean, the
Yep.
guy is a dime machine. Like he just creates for his team, and he's putting up great numbers in limited minutes when Morant's healthy. So yeah, I just love how deep they are. They're really cruising, and they're just a fun team to watch.
I am rooting for them because of Marcus Smart. If the Celtics do
Nice.
not win a ring, I would love for the Grizzlies to win a ring so Marcus
Oh.
Smart gets his, dude.
Common ground
not-
for us, dude. Let's go.
I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I am. If I had to choose second team, it's definitely the Thunder. I'm pretty sure
Right.
I've said that before.
You have, yep.
But I love Marcus Smart. He's probably my favorite player, personal favorite player, and besides Kevin Durant, they're close. I am a big Kevin Durant guy. You know that, so
Yes.
I can't totally leave him out of the conversation. But Marcus Smart makes a push, and I would love to
Screw
see
it.
him.
Who's your third favorite, man? Is it the Brow? Are we
The
going too
Brow?
far back?
The Brow might be. He's up there. I liked him. I used to like him more, which is interesting. It's not even because he got worse. It's just maybe a lost connection a little bit. So maybe I'm
mean-
a really big Rondo guy because I think he was majorly underappreciated
Yeah,
with
I'd
what he
agree.
did on the Celtics. So we'll go with Rondo right now. And
Yeah.
even if that's not true, he deserves the call out anyways.
Well, what about a current dude?
Current dude
Yeah.
on
Since
the
the other
Celtics
two
right
are
now.
current.
Yeah, I gotta go. I think I gotta go with Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
His development since he came to the Celtics, I don't know how many years ago it is at the point, 8 or 9, getting old. He's just developed so much. He came out of Cal thinking he was going to be pure slasher and defense only, and we're just getting that and so much more. I mean, he's an excellent mid-range guy. He's
Yeah, he
shooting
can
threes
create.
at a great clip.
Yeah,
Yep, exactly.
He can create. He
So-
can catch and shoot. It's
Yep.
easier to talk about things the guy can't do, which
Yes.
is pretty much nothing. But yeah, the athleticism was always there out of college. I loved him coming out, and yeah, I mean, you said it. He's gotten better each and every year, and he's an elite player. Finals MVP. I mean, come on, the guy's got it.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. Let's move on to another team here, the Pelicans.
Oh,
They're
I'm glad
just
you brought
in
him up.
such an unfortunate situation.
Yeah,
I mean, they're sitting 5-20, bottom of the West, a really tough West.
yeah.
Probably too deep to crawl out of already at
Oh
this
yeah,
point.
and for the record, that's
Especially-
second worst record in the NBA too. Even when you
Yes.
throw in the East, so
It
not
is.
pretty.
No. And it does not look to be getting any better or easier for them. I mean, Zion, we know about that injury.
Yeah,
Jose Alvarado out for multiple weeks. Brandon Ingram out indefinitely now.
Mhm.
I mean, when are the hits going to stop coming?
yeah.
Yeah,
And
those things-
CJ too
Yep.
missed time. He's back now, but with his age and everything, it's a matter of
Yep.
time till he goes out again. But I'm glad you brought them up because I had a talking point about them too. Is this good for them? Like, if they tank
Ooh.
this year and they get a stud out of the draft, we're talking DeJounte Murray, 28 years old, Ingram, 27, Zion, 24. They got pieces like Alvarado. Like, I mean, this could be good for them.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't even. DeJounte's been out for so long, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, add another one to the list. But it could be. The question becomes, do they still have to reset because those current stars want to leave? Or
Yeah. Well, I
is
hope
it
they.
a true addition?
Yeah. I hope
You
they
know?
see it the way I see it. Like, hang in there. If you guys can actually manage to stay healthy, because Zion is one of those guys too. Like, we talk about Embiid, we mentioned Kevin Durant. Like, I mean, Zion can't frickin' stay on the court.
Nope.
I think he only has 1 or 2 seasons above 60 games, and yeah, it's brutal because that's another really fun player to watch. Another
Hmm.
dude who's my style of player. I mean, maybe that's part of why the NBA is shifting to who can chuck it the furthest. I mean, because all these
Less injury
guys,
risk.
yeah, all these guys that are playing, in the paint and just really aggressive and trying to body guys, they're going down. They're hurting themselves, they're hurting their wallets, they're hurting their families, like however you want to look at it.
Yep.
Maybe that, plays a role in it. But it's a shame to see. And yeah, I mean, I just love that style of basketball, man. I just keep
Yeah.
bringing it up. Like we just circle back to it because that's what I yearn for.
Yearn for the old days
Yes.
when Steph didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got one more for us to talk about. One more. I want to talk about the Kings too, because they're in a tough spot. I mean, it's a tough West, as we've said many times.
Yeah.
They're sitting at 12 and 13, which would indeed be 8 in the East, but they're sitting all the way down at 12 in the West.
Yeah.
But they don't have the same injury problems, really. Still got Fox and Sabonis, but they don't look the threat that they have been the past 2 years.
I know.
What do you think is going on there?
I'm not too sure, but it's a shame because I really like this team. I, Hi, Daisy.
Yeah, she's making an appearance.
Yes. Daisy, anything to add?
Ho ho! A little Daisy
Yeah.
blooper there for
She's
you
a
all.
Sixers fan.
Whoa! Let's pause on that blasphemy, please. We don't need any of that.
But yeah, anyway, the Kings. Yeah, it sucks to see. I really like this team. They're so fun, and the last few years in the play in or the actual playoffs, like they were a team I was really pulling for. They bring a lot of energy. Really like Fox. Really like Sabonis. Big Monk fan too. Always liked
Yep.
him. He finally found his home.
I do like Malik Monk a lot.
Yeah.
Also a Kentucky boy, so he's got that going for him for me. But
Right. But
you
yeah,
can say
it
that
took
about
him
a lot
a
of
while.
quality players in the NBA, by
Yeah.
the way.
You can. You can. But yeah, he finally found his home, which is awesome to see because you always saw the potential with him. And,
Yep.
now he's stringing together, what, this is like his 3rd year there or something. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's his third.
yeah, he's
He
looking
is the
good.
one player who has been out a little bit for him, though. He's only played
has.
18 of their 25 to this point, so
Yeah.
he has missed some time.
And he
he's
was a little-
he is an important piece for them. So
He is, yeah.
maybe that goes to show something there. I don't know.
Right. And he was a little rusty too, even, but lately he's been, starting to heat up. And I'm hoping that can be the difference, get them back into the mix. But, as we stated, the West is so compact. Like, Kings have 12 wins sitting at the 12 seed. The Warriors have 14, and they're sitting at the 5 seed. Like, they are still, a hot streak away from completely shifting their status in the West. So definitely not quitting on them yet, but I am shocked
No.
to see them down that far.
Like
But yeah,
if the
I
Grizzlies
think it's likely
and
it
the
turns around.
Kings were in, like if they were reverse, that would make sense to me. That would make more sense to me.
Yeah, I
Based
think
on what
that's
I
fair.
expect. Based on what I
Right.
expect. But
And
I
I think
agree.
I think the
I'm
difference
not
is
giving up yet.
right, and I think the difference is what I mentioned with the Grizzlies, just how deep they are. A lot of teams are lacking that in the NBA. You go out and you pay your 3 stars the frickin' max, and you have nothing left. And and a credit to the Grizzlies too. A lot of these guys are young. A lot of these guys I didn't even know existed until this year, and they're just building a good team. And yeah, a lot of teams can't say the same there. But yeah, I agree. Little surprising the Kings are down there, but as I said, they're a few games away from being right back in the mix.
100%. 100%. You got any last thoughts for this basketball episode, sir?
Yeah, so I had one more note here, and it's about the Thunder.
Oh.
They are still no joke without Holmgren. Like
Oh yeah.
it didn't affect them at all.
Nope.
It's
Getting
crazy.
Hartenstein back, I think, was huge for them in terms of because the rest of their team is so good. Just having a good, even if it's not a Holmgren level good, big body out there, that's all they need.
Yeah.
That's all they need. Lou Dort is a defensive god. Shai is playing at an MVP level. You've got the 2 Jalen Williams. You got Andrew Wiggins. I mean, they're all balling. All of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And a lot of them can do both. Like you said, Dort, defensive specialist, kind of hot and cold with his 3-ball.
Yes.
But yeah, and then Williams, I'm amazed with what he's been able to do defensively. Yeah, the better one. But yeah, he's really good. Like I always knew the offense was there, but he puts up steals and blocks all the time. And yeah, that's another team that is well built. And them getting the backup big was huge. That was literally one of the best offseason additions. And they knew the risk with Chet, and they got somebody to fill the void. And he's doing a great job. He brings so much energy, and he's just a pest. Like you got to have pests on your team, and he certainly is one, and he's a good one. So yeah, the Thunder being at the top, little surprising to me, losing their second best player.
Yep.
But at the same time, the team's just so well built. It didn't even seem to phase them.
Sam Presti did an absolutely excellent job. Maybe the best showing I've ever seen by a GM, and that includes Danny Ainge, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, he built a great team.
Oh, yes, he did. And they've still got so many more picks to go. They're not even close to out of the war chest yet.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy.
That's a team that if they want to make a move for a Jimmy Butler-esque player, has the ability to do so without tearing up their team. They've just got so much to move.
And they have the money, too.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
A lot of these guys are so young, they haven't gotten their bag yet. Yeah, I mean, that's a good shout, honestly. I'm shocked they're not in discussion. I feel like that would be a good fit for Jimmy, like we were saying. Yeah, I really like that, actually.
Vet on a young team, too. Maybe give him a little. He doesn't need to play as much. The question is he okay with that? Maybe that's why they're not on his list.
Great point.
He would not be playing as much as he is.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and Jimmy is not going to shy away from how he feels. We know that.
No, he is
yeah,
not.
and like you said with the Rockets, like maybe that's kind of the Thunder's thought. Like, hey, we don't want to tear this apart. We don't want to touch a thing. Like, we are cruising right now. Why mess with it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they really don't have to. But I am glad you brought it up. Daisy's glad you brought it up. It's a move that could be really exciting.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. We are just over a quarter way through the season. As we said, so much more to go. We will be back with plenty more episodes. But this does wrap up yet another basketball edition of Palm City Chucks. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the Daisy cameos.
Yes.
Apologize for the bark. Well, we'll see what we can do about that. But please like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. We'll be back with you soon. See you, everybody.
Later, PCC!